Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over 5 easy ways that you can transition your hair care regimen from the fall to the winter. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. So the number one tip that I have when preparing your hair for the winter months is to give yourself a trim. Now, the reason why I say this is because it's much harder to keep your hair moisturized and keep it healthy if you're still hanging on to dry, brittle ends. Now, I just recently gave myself a trim about 2 weeks ago, and I always give myself trims every 3 months, and I trim my hair while it's curly, and I do have a video on that, so I'll go ahead and link it on the screen for you guys and down below in the description box. But basically, my 3-month mark always falls in December, so I always get my hair trimmed right before winter season comes. And the reason why it's helpful for me is because once I get rid of my dry ends, my hair just feels better overall. And you're kind of starting 3 steps backward if you have dry ends, because when it gets cold, your hair is going to be plenty dry. Trust me, you don't need to help it out with being any more dry. So you just want to start your hair at a good starting point with a good foundation and get rid of any dead ends. Now, my second tip is something that I've been using a lot lately actually, and that's incorporating humidity into your routine. So the way that you can do that is one of 2 ways. There's the cheap way and then there's the convenient way. So the cheap way is basically whenever you take a shower at night or even in the morning. I do it at night and in the morning. Don't use a shower cap. Allow the steam from the shower to hit your hair, and that's basically going to give your hair some moisture, because when you go outside during the winter, there's no moisture in the air. Because there's less humidity, that means there's less moisture in the air, and in turn your hair and your skin can become very, very dry. But if you allow your hair to be exposed to humidity in the shower, you're kind of infusing your hair with more moisture. So the cheap way to do this is to shower without a shower cap. Or if you want a more convenient way, you can buy a humidifier, and I'll have one that you guys can check out down below in case you want to see what exactly it looks like. But a humidifier is basically a machine that makes steam as if you were in a shower, and you can put it in your bedroom, so while you sleep you're having moist air and your hair and your skin are benefiting from this. Or even while you're watching TV, say you know you're going to be in the living room for a good like 3-4 hours, you can plug in your humidifier and infuse yourself with some moisture. Now, my third tip is to moisturize your hair 2 times a day. Now, you're going to do this in the morning and in the night, and I like to do this after my morning shower and after my night shower, because since I wasn't using a shower cap, my hair is already infused with moisture. And then I'll add some additional moisture by either spritzing my hair with water or a liquid leave-in, and then sealing my hair with a cream and an oil depending on how dry my hair is. So if my hair is really dry, I'll use a cream and an oil, and if my hair is feeling pretty good, I'll just use a light oil. If you're interested in minimizing dryness in your hair as well as the brittleness that comes along with that, which then in turn leads to breakage and less length retention, I think it's better to get in front of the problem before it starts. So I'll overcompensate with moisture during the winter so my hair never experiences being dry, and therefore I never have to worry about any of the side effects of it being dry. So by moisturizing my hair twice a day, my hair stays moist all day long, because just as it starts to get a little bit dry, I'm putting my moisture back into my hair, and my hair continues to flourish even when it's cold outside. Now, my 4th tip is to rethink how you're layering your products. My hair regimen doesn't call for me to completely revamp everything when it gets cold outside, but I do have to think a little bit more carefully about the types of products that I'm putting on my hair. Number 1, during the winter time, I want my die-hard ride or die products. I don't want to use something that I don't know if it's going to work, because if I use something that doesn't agree with my hair and then I go outside when it's cold, it's just going to suck the moisture out of my hair and I'm going to have a headache on wash day. So number 1, I always make sure that I'm playing with my heavy hitter products, the ones that I know work. And number 2, I'm also being conscious of how I'm layering my products. So I currently follow the LCO method, which is liquid, cream, and oil whenever I'm applying my products after I wash my hair. And layering them in this way gives me the maximum amount of moisture. But during the summer, I can get away with a pretty light cream and a pretty light oil. But in the winter, I notice I need a more emollient cream. So something that's not water-based, something that's a little bit thicker and richer in butters and oils. And also a heavier oil. So you may not need to completely revamp your hair regimen, but you just may need to tweak a few things here and there. So I would pay attention to if your hair is still responding to your summer regimen the way it was initially, and if not, add in a thicker product and change one thing at a time to see if you can find what works. And also, if you're an LOC girl in the summer, which is liquid oil cream, you may be a LCO girl in the winter, which is a liquid cream and oil. Now, my fifth and final tip is to take inventory of your problem areas. And the reason why you want to do this is because you want to constantly keep a pulse on the areas of your hair that have issues, because the cold is just going to exacerbate those problems. The dry air is just going to make them worse. And you want to stay on top of whatever's going on before it gets to a point where it's detrimental and you have to chop off a lot of hair. So right now, my problem area is my crown. If you've been following me for a while, you've heard me talk about this numerous times. So I recently purchased a deep conditioner that I know works really, really well in my crown, because no product that I was putting on my crown over these past few weeks has been working for me. My crown's been really dry, really brittle, and I want to go ahead and give that part of my hair a little bit of TLC and extra love, so at the end of this winter season, my crown isn't 5 inches shorter than the rest of my hair. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on any problem areas you have, and when you notice that that area is kind of going downhill and not at the same level as the rest of your hair, you want to go ahead and get in front of the problem before it becomes an even bigger issue. Now, I do have 2 additional bonus tips that you probably heard before, but I think it's always good to hear things again because sometimes it just slips your mind. So the first bonus tip is, please deep condition. Deep conditioning is so important. I cannot stress it enough. So if you're not deep conditioning in the summer consistently, you definitely need to be deep conditioning in the winter consistently. I deep condition every single time I wash my hair, which is about every week and a half to 2 weeks if I'm really stretching it. I like to deep condition more often in the winter than I do in the summer. So I find myself washing my hair more often in the winter, especially since the air is so dry. When you're exposing your hair to water on a more consistent basis, it can stay moist and moisturized internally from the inside out instead of getting dry and crispy and brittle, and that just leads to crazy breakage. So make sure you're deep conditioning. And also, my second bonus tip is to sleep with a satin pillowcase. Now, this is something I'm going to be instituting this season because I kind of got out of the habit of using a satin pillowcase. But using a satin pillowcase is not only really good for your hair, but it's good for your skin. It keeps your skin from getting dried out because there's not moisture constantly being sucked out of it by the fabric of a cotton pillowcase. And it just makes you feel luxurious. So if you don't already have one, go ahead and cop you a satin pillowcase. Those were all of my tips for transitioning to the winter months in your hair care regimen. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. And also check out the description box for some tools and resources as far as products that you can use and videos that you can reference to. If this video was helpful to you, go ahead and click that share button and share it on Facebook or Twitter. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.